Pradip Hotchandani is with us. Pradip, good afternoon. Any view on Stride SHASUN at around 1085?
Good afternoon, Pankaj. Talking about Stride SHASUN, it has been in a consolidation mode for quite some time, and the range is very clear. 1190 to 1200 is the upper band, and on the lower side, 1010, 1000 is the lower boundary. So I think it's still stuck in this range, and whatever side this range is broken, there would be a larger move. So meanwhile, our topics in mid-cap pharma are Divi's Lab and Vinati Organics and even Torrent Pharma. So we are concentrating on these three pharma names in the pharma pick.
Right, but Stride SHASUN, you think it should just remain in this range? No major move up or down?
So yeah, I mean, it tried to scale above its 200 DMA, but it could not sustain above that. So that is the region which I talked about. 1197, 1200 is the major resistance area, and unless it crosses that area, there is no need to take it. Look at it positively. On the downside, as I mentioned, it has got a strong support around 1000. So basically, it's stuck in a range, and we would take a positive or negative once this range is broken.
Right. Among the mid-cap space, one stock that is looking good today is Jubilant Life Sciences. It's up 7%. Since the results, it's almost up about 30% or so. Any view on that name?
So yeah, it's approaching its very crucial resistance zone, which is placed around its 450 kind of level, which happens to be the top made in March 2016. So I think looking at the chart patterns, it's very likely that it will test that level and probably cross it. And once that is taken out, then a big major up move would resume. Next leg of up move, it can take it to around 500, 525 kind of level. So bias would be positive, and 450 would be the next major resistance or target to watch out. And once that is taken out, and we can talk about levels of 500 plus.
Right, I think RADICO has also just declared numbers, 21 crores in terms of profit versus about 17 crores. So that seems to be a decently good number, or at least looking at that number, you would not be worried. Let's just pull up the name. I think there should be a spike. Yeah, there you go. It's up 6% odd. We're just awaiting the sales details. Sales are also quite important for this company, but PAT number seems to be good. 21 crores versus about 17 crores. Expectation was slightly higher, but I think the sales number would have made up for it. Pradip, any view on RADICO KHAITAN? It's a very, very non-liquid counter, only if you have a view.
So, this whole liquor space has been buzzing over past couple of days. We have seen decent volume as well as price action in Pioneer Distillery, GM Breweries, Global Spirit, etc. Talking specifically about RADICO, it is approaching its 200 DMA after today's up move, which is placed around 100. That is where its couple of tops made on daily charts earlier are also placed. So that will be the crucial resistance zone to watch out. If that is taken out, then we can talk about levels of 115 near about that. But 100 is the crucial resistance to watch out.
100 is the crucial resistance. Any view on Just Dial? It's 13 rupees down today, but at a point of time was down about 6-7% plus.
So view continues to be negative, but only thing it's so oversold that you cannot take a call of shorting it at this level. So the prudent take would be to stay away of the stock, stay out of the stocks, and let it settle down. But on the overall chart pattern, it still continues to be negative.
Right. So you would not want to short it because it is oversold at this point of time.
Correct. And also it's showing signs of positive divergence on its monthly charts, but it would be too early to call that the bottom has been formed. So as I mentioned, it prudent thing at this juncture would be to stay away and not take any position in the stock.
Right. As far as some of the other, large cap movers are concerned, so whether it's Nifty, the Nifty 50 pack, Coal India is today up at 348. Any view? I think this was the last time around, this was the year high, or it was closer to the 360, 370 mark.
Exactly, and 335, 336 was the crucial resistance where its 34-month moving average was placed, and it has broken that resistance with quite a decent volume. So I think it has resumed its sort of trend, and I would gun for targets of as high as 420, 422 over let's say next couple of months. So here definitely bias would be positive, and one can enter the stock at even current levels and accumulate the stocks. I think 200 DMA, which is placed around 310, would be a decent stop loss and support for this move.
Right. As far as something like a Tata Steel is concerned, has that given a breakout?
Yeah, in fact, this is one stock which we have been positive on, and once 360 resistance was taken out, we were gunning for a target of 420 kind of level. The stock consolidated in this region around 4 to 5 weeks, and now it has resumed its up move kind of. So 420, where it's 100-month moving average is placed, continues to be the next target to watch out, and we would continue to be positive on the stock.
Right. What will be the target for Tata Steel?
As I mentioned, 420, where its 100-month moving average is placed, 420 is the next major target we are watching out.
Right. And you would be buyers right now, or after the 2% move today, you would probably, want to just, want this stock to have a breather and then, probably go and buy this name.
No, we would be comfortable buying at this juncture because stock has already spent a couple of weeks in this region, and it has broken out of fresh above its resistance of 384, 385, which it made in August 2000 a couple of weeks back. So I think I would be comfortable even buying that at this level also. 374, 372 is the support area which I would be comfortable placing as a stop loss and playing long at this juncture.
Right. As far as HINDALCO is concerned, has that given the recent move that we've seen after the result, does that tell you that it's still a buy?
It continues to move higher, defying gravity, but now it's approaching its very crucial and major resistance level in the form of upper band of Bollinger on its monthly chart, which is placed around 160 kind of level. So I would not buy afresh, and in fact, those who have bought at lower levels can start booking profit, because these are very important resistance levels. And looking at the steep run up over past couple of months, it's likely that stock would cool off after near these resistance levels.
Right. As far as the other metal pack is concerned, so Vedanta, CAIRN, they were looking good till some time back, but how are they looking now?
So Vedanta has a very strong supply or resistance around 175. That happens to be its 34-month moving average. It has spent couple of weeks around these level. So we would watch out for 175 as crucial resistance area. If that is taken out, the stock will be good for another 10-15% kind of move. 200 will be the next target. Meanwhile, in non-ferrous space, Hindustan Zinc continues to be our preferred bet, and JSW in ferrous space is our preferred bet. So these two will be other two stocks in metal space.
Right. As far as something like HPCL, BPCL is concerned, on the fundamental side, we are getting some downgrades today. But how would you look at these names?
So both these stock had a steep vertical rise over last couple of months, and recently they had shown a negative divergence on their daily charts. So therefore we are expecting some sort of consolidation in the short term. Overall, however, chart pattern continues to be bullish on weekly and monthly time scale. But looking at the sharp run up, one would not be out of space to kind of book some profit in these stocks. And IOC is another stock in this space which looks like more rewarding in terms of risk reward. So one can shift some of the position over there.
Right. But overall, they continue to look positive. I mean, 12 months of rally continues.
Yeah, overall chart pattern on weekly and monthly basis continue to look good. Only thing on the concern, as I mentioned, was on daily charts where a negative divergence is clearly visible. So in the short term, some sort of consolidation correction cannot be ruled out.
Right. As far as Sun Pharma is concerned, any view? It today opened down and, then it recovered mostly all of its losses. Any sort of view on Sun Pharma?
So in large cap pharma, we have maintained avoid view, and that continues to be the view in case of Sun Pharma also. Previously also we had mentioned that 890, 900 is the region where its 20-month moving average is placed, as well as the previous top made in February 2016 is also placed. So that is the crucial resistance area for Sun Pharma analysts. That is taken out, the view would be slightly on the negative side. And that's why as I mentioned, mid-cap pharma is the space where they have completed their consolidation and broken on the upside. So if you want to be in the pharma, mid-cap pharma is the space. Frontline pharma, I would still continue to avoid.
Right. If I just look at the markets, do you think we are getting a sign that markets are topping out? Is there any sort of indication that you're getting that markets, may actually, it may not actually fall down, but at the same time, it may be difficult for Nifty to go up?
So that sign is clearly visible. A 10% move which we had since the end of June. Nifty has been difficult to cross 8700 mark decisively, and past 2 week it has been consolidated around this level. On the downside, I think 8540 is the important support level, which is where its 34 DMA as well as its previous bottom is placed on the daily charts. So if that is broken, then I think the selling pressure will accentuate and we can see 8400, 8350 kind of levels. So still at this juncture, I would say that we are stuck in a range of 8540 to 8730, and we would watch out for this range to be broken on either side before taking a fresh directional view.
Right, and till then, what should one do in the markets? I mean, in the Nifty or Bank Nifty?
So I think Bank Nifty is relatively better placed. Here we would watch out for 19158, 19158 is the important resistance in Bank Nifty. If that is taken out, then Bank Nifty is good for another 600, 700 points. It can go to 19,800. So, you know, for both these indices, as of now, it's wait and watch kind of approach. Bank Nifty above 19158, we would take a positive call. And Nifty above 8730, we would take a positive call. For at this juncture, for both the indices, we would avoid taking positions.
Right. You know, how would you look at Dish TV? Dish TV has seen a lot of volumes today. Of course, some news flow expected about M&A into this company, but how would you look at Dish TV?
So, you know, on a larger scale, it's still stuck in a major consolidation. The range is around 105 on the higher side, and on the lower side, it is finds strong support around 80-85 region. So overall bias still continues to be positive unless 80, the major support is broken out. But on the higher side, as I mentioned, 105 is the major resistance area, above which only we would take a fresh positive view. So those who are holding can continue to hold with a stop loss of 80, but as I mentioned, 105 needs to be taken out decisively before a fresh move begins.
Right, 105 needs to be taken out. So till then, you would just avoid this name?
Till that move, yes, because you know the stock which is in a range, you know, you find it difficult to trade. So basically, those who are holding and long-term investor, they can continue to hold with a stop loss of 80, but 105, once that is taken out, then you can take position decisively.
Right. You know, as far as some of the other volume buzzers today are concerned, or, you know, names that are attracting a lot of volumes, the PNB is back to the levels of 125. Any view on PNB?
So, you know, Nifty PSU Bank Index as well as a lot of PSU banks found resistance around their 20-month moving averages, and we were of the view that the pullback rally which these stocks saw, they need to cross this important hurdle to convert pullback rally into uptrend. Now, State Bank is the only stock which has fulfilled that condition. It has crossed that 20-month moving average decisively. So, in the PSU bank basket, State Bank would be the one stock which we are positive on. In case of PNB, we would like the stock to cross 137, 138, which is the top mid in July. So, by and large, we continue to be negative on most of the PSU bank, barring SBI.
Right. You know, as far as, you know, SBI is concerned, you know, how would you look at that name? Because, you know, it's a big stock when you compare it to the likes of BOB, to the likes of probably PNB. So it needs big buying. So what should essentially be the strategy after the 8% move that we saw post results?
So, you know, these banks had a large period of correction as well as consolidation. And as I mentioned, 20-month moving average is something which is a crucial resistance. And SBI, after a long period, has been able to cross that level decisively last week. So, I think the overall trend in SBI continues to be positive, and we would be gunning for targets of 336 eventually over next couple of months. 336 is the top mid in January 2015. So for investor as well as trader, we would be advising buying. I think 200 DMA, which is placed around 198, would be a decent support to buy.
Right. As far as Delta Corp is concerned in the cash market, any view? It's up today, and since results, it's done almost 40%.
So, you know, the breakout came long back around 100 and 105 region in the Delta Corp stock, and thereafter we were gunning for a target of 140, which is its previous all-time high made in November 2010. So it has been achieved in today's trade. Still, if you know, oscillators on weekly and monthly charts are positive, so I would not rule out further higher levels in coming weeks and months, but in the short term, because of the steep run up, the stock might consolidate a bit around these levels.
Right, but again, you know, I think what was the previous life high of this stock? Was it in and around these levels?
Yeah, it was 142, which was made in November 2010.
Right, and you feel that it'll still be difficult for it to cross 142?
No, I think it is likely that it will cross because oscillators are very well supporting this up move. There is no sign of negative divergence on its weekly or monthly charts. So I think it is very likely to cross these levels. Only thing it might spend some time because the run up has been steep over past couple of months, and this is the kind of initial or major target which has been achieved.
Right. Again, let's go back to the top 200 names and see, what's happening in. So something like a TVS Motors, I think 320 was the earlier high, 320, 330. It's back to the levels of 315. How do you look at this name?
So I think this was our preferred bet in auto space and went into a consolidation mode for past couple of months, and now I think it's time to resume its uptrend. It has clearly broken out on its daily charts with good volumes in today's trade. So I think initial target would be around 340, which was the top made in April 2016, and once that is taken out, then we can talk about higher levels of 370, 380 kind of levels. But definitely the stock is looking good at this juncture, and one can, even short term or medium term traders can enter into the stock at current level. I think 294 where 200 DM is placed should be a decent support for this.
Right. Can you say similar things about Hero and, Bajaj as well? They have also seen some buying today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Hero and Bajaj both have been our preferred bets in auto pack. If you know, about 2000, where 2800 was the level where major breakout was happened in Hero MotoCorp, and we are working with a target of 3900 in case of Hero MotoCorp over next couple of months. So definitely Hero Moto as well as Bajaj Auto will be our preferred bets in automobile space.
Right, Pradeep. Thank you so much for taking out time for us. I hope to see you again soon.